My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And I have to tell you, I'm pretty darn excited. Straight away in this video, I'm pretty darn excited. Normally when I record these videos, when I do the intro, I'm like, yeah, I'm so I have a loud voice. I'm a loud guy. I'm kind of excited guy. But I get a little alert comes up saying, you're overloading. You're overloading was the OBS, the software, with you, whatever. It didn't say that today. So I don't know, maybe I got my computer under control. It's got enough stuff going on that it can cope with life. That is my fervent hope. You know who can't cope with life? I would say the people making Doctor Who. They are not happy campers right now. We're going to be looking at one of the gazillion articles which has said, man, Doctor Who sucks ass, right? After years and years and years of gaslighting. I mean, literally years and years and years of gaslighting. I say, Jodie Whittaker, fantastic. Christian, wonderful. Anybody doesn't like it. The only reason anybody can come up with that they can't like this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful era of Doctor Who is because they're bigots and sexist and racist. That's the only reason. No other reason. None whatsoever, right? And now they're leaving. They're like, oh man, that was shit. Like, really? So, excuse me. I'm going to revel in a bit of their the egginess on their faciness, right? And I do like to pull these articles from more mainstream sources rather than geeky sources. So we're going to be looking at an article from Engadget today. Haven't read it. I'm going to read it with you. Before we get into it, can you hit the like button? That'd be fan-dabby-double-dozy. That'd be fan-freaking-tastic. Thank you very much. I do like to be liked. Can you hit the share button? Hey, baby, I like to be shared even more. Let me tell you. Like, share, subscribe. We broke 3,100 subscribers. I mean, that's freaking incredible. Firstly, thank you. I should have led with that. Really? I should have led. It's been a few hours since I see. Okay, this is how sad and pathetic my life actually is. I wake up in the morning. Normally my dog is like about 8 months old, 7 months old, jumps up in bed. She's so cute. She licks my little face. Well, no, she licks my face with her big face. So, no. She licks my big face with her little face. Like, rubs a little fur and, oh, man. It's a really nice way to wake up, right? But after I'm like, waking up, this is about 6. I go to my phone. And the first thing I do, I always open my, not always the first thing, mostly the time, the first thing I do is I open up my YouTube studio and just see what's going on. Have I been banned? Like, is my account been closed? And I saw it got over 3,100 subscribers. So thank you very much. Okay, genuinely, thank you everybody who subscribed. If you're subscribed, make sure you're still subscribed because YouTube, they're not so happy with this, right? They're not so on board, but never mind. Thank you very much. So like, share, subscribe, comment. Always let me know what you think. That's kind of one of the fun bits of YouTube. We get to interact. And really, honestly, this is what the BBC should be. The BBC should be an open social media platform to allow the British public to broadcast themselves and let people build up audiences and then put them on TV. Then you're not paying Gary Lineker 15 billion gazillion pounds a minute or whatever you're paying him, but it's organic and people actually like them, right? So of course, the BBC did a social media, their algorithm would be like so slanted. It was like we wouldn't see a white person on TV. And I just want to be clear, I'm not one of the people who say, oh, black people, I don't want to see those. No. I just don't like human beings tokenized, which the BBC are really into. Like they're really, really totally into it. Probably why Doctor Who has done so. One of the main reasons Doctor Who has done so incredibly bad. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and go check out my Indiegogo. So this is closing. I don't know when it's closing. It's closing any freaking time. I've submitted the files to the printer. I'm waiting for a print date. Well, as soon as it goes to print, it's over. It's finished. Although, oh man, they gave me a ton of work to do. Like a ton. Oh my god. I got to do this little thing on each page of, these are 2 graphic novels, by the way, okay, in case you didn't know. I got to do this thing on each page of the graphic novel. This was 220 pages long. It takes about 2 or 3 minutes per page, and then I've got about 330 pages to do this with. It takes like 3 minutes each. You do the math. It's about 10 hours worth of work. It's taking forever. Well, I'm a few hours into it already. But yeah, ton of work. So anyway, this book, Biblical Bible Stories, 8th Grace of Rushless Rogues, 220 pages long. As I mentioned, I wrote and drew it. Freaking awesome. Also, we have The Imperium, a love letter to telefantasy of the 1960s. Doctor Who, Emma Peel, James Bond, The Monkey, The Spacesuit, and The Black Slave from 2001. Bit of Prisoner, bit of Thunderbirds, you name it, and then you get a ton of extras. Dominic Ratchet did the artwork on this, he did the artwork on all the extras. The extras will only be available with this campaign, I've decided. They'll only be available with this campaign, so if you want them to get now, you can get the extras on their own. I really don't know what I'm taking it down. This is not a gimmicky sales ploy. I really whenever they say they're going to print, boom, that's the cutoff, right? I can probably squeeze in an extra few more orders at that moment, but that's generally the cutoff. And I want people to get their freaking comics, okay? That's right. I want to get the comics, right? I want to get these. I actually want all this stuff. This is why I do it, because I like it. So there you go. Go check it out. Thank you very much. Now, the thing we're checking out right now is Engadget. Engadget is the latest one to pile upon the current era of Doctor Who. Which, by the way, is it cancelled? Would you say this era of Doctor Who is cancelled? It feels a lot like 1989 to me, doesn't it? I mean, it feels like, there's no production team in place, and they just say, well, of course we're going to have a production team in place. Oh, yeah, it might take a year or two. Oh, yeah, but of course. It feels a lot like that to me. I think it is dependent on finding somebody who will do it within the BBC's remit of I think the BBC is actually in free fall right now. I think the BBC they lost 1 million license payers over the last 2 years, and I think that was only such a low number because people didn't realize they could do it over the last 2 years. Now people realize they can do it. You can expect that to double this year and probably double the year after. So I think they got a year, maybe two, of being financially viable. I mean, I think they know that data very, very well, right? And I think they need things that make money, like Doctor Who, and Doctor Who has not made them as much money. So I think, firstly, it's all dependent on them having international partners. Secondly, it's dependent on them having a creative team. They have faith that they can deliver. So I don't know what causes this thought process. We just had Alex Kurtzman rehired at CBS, at Paramount, who's done a frankly awful job, but they do get content out on screen, right? He has got that's the thing that happened, and I think that might be what's torpedoed Chibnall and Whittaker. They're just not producing enough content for the screen. Well, Rusty Davis, he had Torchwood and Sarah Jane Adventures and Doctor Who Run. He gets pushed out content. I think that's an important thing. My guess is they're on their knees to Jed Makura, the guy who does Line of Duty and I said Duty, and what's the other one? The Bodyguard. I mean, they love Jed Makura. He gives them hit after hit after hit after hit. He likes science fiction. His first thing was Invasion Earth, the first thing he ever did. So my guess is they're on their knees to him, begging him. And also they're looking for international partners. International partners shouldn't be too hard to find. I mean, really, I can imagine Amazon or Netflix would want access to Doctor Who, right? I think they would probably want it with some creative control, given how badly it's done over the last couple of years. But who knows? Again, let me reiterate. Alex Kurtzman was rehired for Paramount, right? So I don't know. I guess they're gonna they need more content. And I do think they need it to make some money for them because, as I said, BBC are they're not doing so good, right? And I think they know they're not doing so good. They've really alienated their audience, the British public. And I think they know the data. They know the data as well as they know better than most people, what the data is. So my guess is we're getting these specials through to 2022, and this is going to actually, I think, be absolutely disastrous for the BBC, because the one thing that putting Doctor Who on regularly does is show how bad Doctor Who is. You get a one-off special, people are like, and it's it goes by relatively quickly. They see Daleks on screen, they see Mr. Big from Sex and the City, and not too much Jodie Whittaker. That's really important. Not too much Jodie Whittaker, and they kind of got away with it. They got a consolidated rating on 6.5. I mean, it's the lowest holiday special ever, but you know they kind of got away with it. Like they doubled EastEnders ratings or something like that. So you know, so yeah. So so this article called Doctor Who needs to evolve to survive. Yeah, again, is it going to survive? So anyway, I think this series having 6 episodes on. If they do it weekly, if they don't strip it over like 6 days, or they do it over, it's going to be a disaster. The rumors I got already are episode 1 is awful, right? The script for episode 1 is unbelievably bad, and the script for episode 3 is incomprehensible. Episode 2 is supposed to be not bad, but it's a one continual story. That's always bad to bring in new viewers. And then mostly it seems like Chibnall and Whittaker are just completely switched off. They're just like, I'm done. Seems to be by contractual obligation. So then we're going to have the New Year's special, and then one more special, and then later in the year in November, as the crown jewel of the BBC centenary celebrations, they're going to put on Doctor Who, and I think it's going to be Doctor Who that shows everybody why they hate the BBC. I think this is actually the show that could destroy the BBC. I really genuinely do. I really think that's how it could go down. But yeah, so I think they're going to want to rest it for a little bit. I think there's a quite good chance they'll get Rusty Davies or Moffat or somebody in to come and do a one-off special for the 60th anniversary. That'd be, you know, if they want to do something really good, what I would really recommend is do a series, an animated series with different Doctors from the past, right? And do contemporary animation. Big Finish can do the voices. They can produce, great content. That would probably do very well. Okay, I think that will probably do very well. It'll be a good stopgap measure, right? But I think I can see that happening. They're bringing in somebody for an anniversary special. And then again, I think the earliest they're looking at is 2024, assuming they have international partners in place and they have a production team. I think that's why I think they're begging Jed McCura. Said, look, it's a year and a half away in terms of, like, you don't have to start work for another year and a half. Just we really want you to do it, right? Who knows? But where it is right now, I think Doctor Who has been cancelled. It's been cancelled until they find somebody to move it forward. Is there a will to find somebody to move it forward? Partially. But they want the money. Everybody likes money, baby. Okay, Doctor Who needs to evolve to survive. It's not going to survive. That's the thing. It needs more than just content. Well, Star Trek didn't. Star Trek really genuinely didn't, did it? So let's read this. The BBC have announced that Chris Chibnall, pictured above, with Matt Stevens and Jodie Whittaker costs. Who is the biggest arsehole out of the three here? You can have a good argument for all of them. Stevens, he's just like an upper class twit. He's a moron. Whittaker is somebody who's a moron, doesn't know she's a moron. And Chibnall's the biggest arsehole. Okay, what am I more mad at the BBC for? Chibnall, Whittaker, or them alienating Capaldi that he'll never come back, which is something we've seen in the news recently. I don't know. You the public decide. The BBC have announced that Chris Chibnall, pictured above, centre, Doctor Who's executive producer and its star Jodie Whittaker, pictured right, and also Matt Stevens, chief lackey arsehole, pictured left. Will lead the series in 2022. Yes! Freaking yes! And every time I read that, it just feels good. It feels like, free at last, baby. Free at last. Trio specials through next year would herald the pair's departure from the long-running series. This then seems like an ideal time for the Doctor to undergo a radical shake-up it so desperately needs. I want to remind you, right? Christian said it needed a radical shake-up. It desperately needed a radical shake-up. How'd that work out for you, Chips, right? How'd that work out? Not so good, right? Not so good. I don't agree with the Guardian's recent piece saying the series needs to be off air for a while. But it's very clearly time for the show to evolve again. Excuse me, all you in the media, were literally, figuratively, not literally, maybe literally as well. I don't know what happens in the privacy of Edinburgh's home. Literally touching themselves inappropriately with excitement about this new era of Doctor Who. All of you. Right? And anybody said, oh, this one isn't very good. They called you names. They called you the worst things humanly possible. This is in part because Doctor Who under Chibnall has been such a waste. Yes, the showrunners work before taking the job, while popular and award-winning has always left me cold. A lot of people are saying that now, aren't they? Weren't saying that for the last couple of years. My initial apprehension was calmed somewhat by the news emerging from the production of the revived series' 11th run. Chibnall also deserved credit for hiring the first two writers of the color. Why? Okay, again, why are we judging people by their skin color? It's disgusting. It's just disgusting. I don't understand. I mean, listen, that being said, it's a bit weird. A black person hasn't written Doctor Who, right? I mean, I don't know. What percentage of the British public are black? I don't know, what, 6-7%? 8%? I don't know. I really don't know. BAME, let's say BAME. Let's make it bigger. So it's going to be minimally 10%. It seems weird, right? It does. And listen, I've met black Doctor Who fans before. They do exist, right? I want to tell you. It seems weird. It does seem weird to me. That definitely seems a bit odd. But even so, you should... It's a real mistake. It's a real mistake giving anybody plaudits for essentially what is racism, right? It's a real mistake. Why? Because this is what they live for, right? It's incredible. I remember when I was younger, I used to live in live in Miami and work in a thing called a yeshiva, which is like a rabbinical ceremony. They do classes for the community, and everything, and the person in charge of it said, look, it was all survived all through donations, and the person running it, the head rabbi there, said, you just got to give people honor, give people treat honor like kids treat candy, and they can't get enough of it, right? And so that's why you have these award dinners and you honor people, because they'll give you money for it, right? People love to be honored. And I've always thought that's weird, right? I've always thought that's a bit like, listen, I don't like to be dissed, but I'm like, oh, I need honor. No, I don't get it. I don't get it. But it's like, this is, I think, the central motivation for Chris Chibnall, that he likes to be said, oh, you're so stunning and brave. 60 here. So the fact that many of the episodes had explicitly focused on material social history suggests a bright new direction for the series. Now, one second. Let me hold you up on that thing. When anybody said, "Oh my God, it's so politically lecturing, ideologically lecturing," the response we heard in unison from the weirdos was, "Doctor has always been political. Doctor, well, you just haven't been watching it, have it?" So, excuse me, make up your mind. Is this a new focus on material social history, or has it always been that way? Right? It's that, make up your mind. I basically, it's whatever is convenient for you at the freaking time, isn't it? The one who felt it well too was blistering confident debut and all seemed well. Yeah, okay, that's fair. It was a confident debut. They really believed it was going to go down well. Well, kind of bad for them, really, because it really did it at all. And then, yeesh. As good as Chibnall is at birthing some truly inspired ideas, what idea? I don't know what idea he birthed that was truly inspired. What, hiring black people? No, that's racism. And again, I think it's a bit weird that no black people have ever written for Doctor Who, right? I don't think it's I don't think anybody at any point got a script and said, "Oh, this is good. This shows a lot of potential. I think this writer can really go far and do well." Oh, 1 second. He's black. No! I just don't believe that happened, right? I really, genuinely, I don't think skin color or gender is any barrier to entry into script writing. And if it is, then I think there's a problem within the entertainment industry, which they need to deal with rather than point your finger at everybody else. It's not everybody, mate. It's just you. If that's what it's like in the entertainment industry, which I think it might be, then it's just you. And then yeesh, okay, fine. He struggled to flesh out the quartet of lead characters and failed to offer them real stakes to deal with. Yeah, look, I mean, the only one who really did fill themselves out was Bradley Walsh's Graham. And I just think because Bradley Walsh is a very personable, good performer, right? I think he's and I think that was the worst job he could do. He did a pretty darn good job, right? He was like, yeah, in the diversity, he was the fan's human being, the person that humans could relate to. Yeah, and again, and we had, and Christian said, we're not gonna have any returning monsters. No, because they put people off. Really? Really? They put off new viewers. Really? No one has put off more new viewers than you, Chris Chibnall. Right? Have they? I mean, like, you lost 75% of them, and you had like 11.5 million. It's pretty bad, mate. Pretty bad. You've lost how many millions of viewers? Okay, so it got down to 4.6. Let's say 4.7. It might be 4.69. 4.7, so that's 6.8 million, right? 6.8 million. Dude, they killed less Jews during World War II. That's how many people you lost, right? I just want you to like give you that infographic, right? That's really bad. It's really, 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 really bad. No one's put off as many people as you, Chibnall. For the era's emphasis on diversity, the content of each episode seems to be far more backward looking. I hope he. I mean, I agree, but I'm intrigued to know how he got to that conclusion. I've written before about how Chibnall often appearing to make the argument opposite to the one he thinks he's making. That is so true. Yeah, the basic argument is that the reason why we need diversity is because we got this thing called unconscious bias. We have this bias built into us through, magic, sociology, whatever it is. And if we see a woman in a position of power, we will reject it and we won't accept it. No. Well, look. Firstly, the fundamental mistake they're making is thinking that men and women are interchangeable. They're not. There are masculine qualities. There are feminine qualities. Normally, leadership throughout the entirety of our species' history has required masculine qualities. That's not to say that women can't be leaders, right? Absolutely they can. But generally speaking, it's not me creating history. This, generally speaking, masculine qualities are needed for leadership. I think honestly, a female Doctor Who really should have worked, could have worked, and should have worked. But again, it's this idea that men and women are interchangeable, and there's no real thing as gender. It's a social construct. It's not a social construct. It's a core part of I think most human beings' identity. And the lack of having gender is equally a core part of the identity of the people who very strongly believe there are more than two genders. Fine. Make the opposite. So basically, they made they made this Doctor into a blithering blithering moron, lacking authority. It would have been better if they probably made her into a smart person full of authority, but I'm not sure Whittaker could really pull it off. Unless he intended to say that polite political protest is the only good protest. Amazon's treatment of its staff actually, and that we can Amazon's treatment of staff is good, and actually that we can all benefit from the spoils of colonialism. I really wish he would go deep down and tell us more where he coming from. I mean, I guess he's talking about Kablam, maybe. Yeah, one of them is Kablam. polite political protest the only good? I don't know what he's talking about. I really don't know. In the comments, let me know. If you can work out what episode he's talking about, that'd be great. Naturally, the casting of a woman in the central role encouraged the usual petulance from those corners of the internet. No, it didn't, mate. You are lying. You're either lying or you're delusional. There was a small amount of people who said, look, this is going to be a disaster. This is political correctness gone mad, and I don't think she'll be able to pull it off. I'm the sort of person who likes to wait and give everybody the benefit of the doubt. And I wanted to like it. I assumed it was going to work. And it wasn't really till the episode 5, whatever, the Tsunonga Conundrum, whatever the bollocks it was with the space bunny. I said, oh, this is garbage beyond garbage, right? This is just awful. Episode 4, right? I gave it a fair whack, mate. I really, really did. This whole narrative is a lie. Is an absolute lie, and I live in those corners of the internet. And you're lying. You're either mistaken or you're lying. Okay, one of the two. Sadly, I think the actors involved have all performed miracles trying to make anything criminal rights remotely believable. Yeah, listen, Bradley Walsh, excellent, but I don't think Whitaker. The troubles with season 11, everybody said, she's not getting material to show off her strength, to show how great she can be. And season 12, they gave her that material, and she couldn't do it. She is the disaster whenever she comes on screen, right? Everyone's departure before she could work with another executive producer will be yet another tragically wasted opportunity of the era. That was always going to happen. I think it was James Strong who said that Chibnall has a 5-year plan. And I think a multi-doctor plan, right? I think that's gone by the wayside, don't you? I think it's gone by the wayside for quite some time. Wasted an opportunity in this era. I hope this bad faith criticism doesn't force the production team to make safe choices for the next Dogs. No! Keep doing the same bullcrap, right? Do it all over again, right? Do it all over again. You should get me Doctor Who, the one of the trans kids from Star Trek Discovery. Either the trans woman. No, she's not trans. She's a genderless. It's so hard to keep up. There's one girl who likes to be non-feminine, and there's one boy who likes to be very feminine. So get the feminine boy to be the Doctor. Make the scripts the same. That's what you really need. You need just diversity, and it'll be stunning and brave. Do it exactly over again, right? Do the same thing, and 3 to 5 years now, we're going to have exactly the same articles once again going, oh, that was shit, right? Exactly. The big secret of Doctor Who's endurance is both its malleability of its premise, no, the premise stays the same, and its knack for reinventing itself. No, Doctor Who's always contemporary, right? Because it's always made as a contemporary show. Whenever it's not, then it kind of falls apart. Every few years, often as the creative team has changed, it became almost entirely a different show. Yeah, with the core being a hero that travels in time and space in the TARDIS, an anti-authoritarian hero who's a massive authority. I think that's what you need for Doctor Who to work. I think that's really the bare bones, and it's with and they threw out some of the bare bones, didn't they, with this era? You could argue the lack of sentimentality has been the case since the show's first mission Smith. That happened because happened in its 5th episode. What? The 5th episode was the Daleks, wasn't it? Yeah. After Tribe of Gum, they go straight to. It's not an Edge of Destruction's after that, right? The Revive show, the Revive show began using a version of Buffy the Vampire template since 2005, and it's wearing a bit thin. It's wearing a bit thin through the entirety of TV, and I kind of disagree with that. I think they use that as a starting point, but like by the time season 1 came on the air, I think it was very much its own entity. It was very, very disparate from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It didn't help that while season 11 was designed to avoid in the show's dense backstory, season 12 was incomprehensible to anybody but diehard fans. Also, diehard fans found it incomprehensible. It was just incomprehensible. Shomron, I mean, we understand what he was trying to do, but he was doing it very badly. Shomron has devoted the series arc to validating a production gaffe in episode aired on January 24th, 1976. It wasn't production gaffe. It was an intent. You're talking about Brain and Morbius, where we threw up some. Yeah, they threw up faces. First you saw the old face of Morbius, then you saw the old face of the Doctor, then the old face of Morbius, then the old face of the Doctor, and then you saw some mysterious new faces. And it was supposed to add some mystery to the main character. Best explanation ever from the discontinuity guide is that these were false regenerations used by Tom Baker's Doctor to win his tournament with Morbius. And in doing so, make the Doctor Time Lord equal to Jesus, contradicting everything we've learned in the last 6 decades. Exactly. This was a kind of self-indulgent fan fiction that hardly a bold new direction for mainstream drama. I can see why he thought it would have gone down well. I mean, you know, if you read The Writer's Tale by Russell Lee Davies and sadly by Benjamin Cook, who's a douchebag beyond douchebags in my opinion, you know, he did keep upping the ante and making it more fanish, more fan wanky, I would say. You know, the inclusion of Davros in series 4. If you read his pitch for the series, it's so fanish, right? Unfortunately, it just wasn't very. You need talent with it, which Shomron doesn't have. Unfortunately, the media landscape has changed. The competition has intensified beyond all belief. The BBC no longer has a monopoly on the conversation as it did, and they are not happy about that, at least here in the UK. And it's also by streaming giants. That's not the problem. That is an absolute lie. The problem is they don't produce content that people want to see. That's really the bottom line, right? Yeah, Donna Noble kidnapped from Big Finish. They just film that, they'll be getting 8 to 10 million viewers. Make content people want to see. Don't make content where you're lecturing people that being gay is cool, kids, and being trans. Yeah, listen, we can all make our own minds up. There's no need for you to socially engineer. Netflix, Amazon, Disney, and others have the wealth to offer the sort of creative freedom that once made a non-commercial BBC stand out amongst the crowd. Yeah, but look at Disney. I mean, everything they put out has been. I mean, you had The Mandalorian. I'm quite enjoying Bad Batch, quite frankly. But like, mostly nothing anybody really wants to see. Amazon, Netflix, yeah, they have stuff on people want to see. And others had stand out around the crowd. The knee-jerk reaction, I'm sure, will be to demand Doctor Who jumps on the bandwagon driven by Marvel's recent streaming shows. That would be a big mistake. What, make everything female, right? And so, maybe. Because Who at its best is when it pushes away from whatever genre show is cresting into the mainstream that year. I think more when it's just being true to itself, right? Financially, the BBC can't compete with mega franchises. Actually, you know, with clever writing, you can, right? You can either have like a massive interdimensional monster attacking, you know, that costs a lot of money to make, or you can have a crack in the wall, right? And the crack in the wall could be way easily as frightening as the interdimensional monster, right? It's just, you've got to be a good writer. That's really the bottom line. You know, the reason we have the TARDIS is because it was a cheap prop. You know, that's just, you work with what you got. You know, a bad workman blames his tools, and money is one of the tools. You know, I think as long as it can be made to look contemporary, not embarrassing, which it can, then I don't think this argument holds any water at all. The one thing that the series could learn from those shows, however, is to build every episode into an event. Oh, they tried that. That was the first half of Matt Smith's last season. It really wasn't that successful. This could mean the show becomes a runner of occasional specials with a longer running time, like the glorified movie of the week. Or that's how they wanted to bring it back in the 90s. They really wanted a series of 90-minute movies. Or it could be the COVID-influenced 2021 season, via shorter, tightly interconnected episodes. That really does seem to be the way to go. Because if everything's dropping on the same day, right? If they're going for the binge model, I would say, let's say they dropped four, like two or three 4 episode seasons a year as binge models. That would be huge, right? And I think, if they could do it well, but I don't. And then you can change it. You can have. I was gonna say you can change the dogs and maybe get Capaldi back. We're never getting Capaldi back. Chip Chil may indeed stumble onto the template that revitalized the show moving forward. No, it's going to be a disaster, right? It's going to be an absolute disaster. But I'm hopefully for something more radical. Yeah, because it worked out so well, right? No, what Doctor Who needs to do is be Doctor Who. The way any of these genre shows survive and flourish is by embracing themselves. Right, and we see that every time they do it, they do very well. The Mandalorian embraced the essence of Star Wars, which is basically a sci-fi Western fantasy for 8-year-old boys, not 8-year-old girls, 8-year-old boys, and boys and girls are not interchangeable, right? So when you do that, they do very well. When you do stuff like with Stunning and Brave, Ray or Michael Burnham or what's the one from Lower Decks? Oh god, it's so bad. Or Jodie Whittaker. It does very badly. You've got to lean into what it is. I thought they learned that lesson from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? The MCU Phase 1, 2, and mostly 3 was very, very reverential to its source material. And that's what you need to do, right? You need to go back to it. I'll give you an example of how with the detail you need to. Russell T Davies, when they were making the 2005 series, he gave notes like he wanted the Daleks to be an inch or two wider at the base. Like he had such a clear, pinpoint understanding of what he wanted to do because he had a clear understanding of what classic, pure Doctor Who was at its essence. I think Moffat to a certain extent, but I think he was. Derailed somewhat by the BBC's inclusivity and diversity mandates. The common purpose people. For instance, if Doctor Who can't succeed as a glossy hour-long standalone drama, which is what it needs to succeed as, then why not go to a series of short series? Well, I just said that, actually. Netflix Russian Doll and BBC's ones I May Destroy You are both examples of excellent half-hour dramas that can... that offer a break from the current prestige drama template. Yeah, I disagree. I just disagree. It helps too that Doctor Who was run this format for 25 of its 26 seasons. It offers at least different methods of structuring a story. Again, that would work. If you're going to do a half-hour episode, if you're either going to dump them all together and so you can binge watch them, or strap them across 5 days a week, that will probably work as well. It may also be easier to binge during the long second life of a streaming platform. Think about it. How many times have you ducked watching a long episode of The Crown because it's too much time for you to invest there, but you're happily burn through 4 episodes of Brooklyn 99? Never. Really? I don't know. Not really. No, I don't do that often without agreeing. You can even get Michaela Cole to write it. How are you going to get her to do that? She's busy and has no interest. Although at this point, I'll step for anybody who isn't named Chris Chibnall. And once again, Doctor Who has become the show that is the embarrassment of the BBC. That is the face of the failure of the BBC. Is Doctor Who cancelled? Could be. I don't know. It feels like a lot like 1989. It really, really does. Except, weirdly enough, Doctor Who is still being defended by the BBC. It wasn't that didn't happen in '89, or in fact leading up to. Something I have to do. I'm watching the season 24 Blu-ray right now, and Sylvester McCoy and Bonnie Langford are on a bunch of shows being lambasted with criticisms about how much they hate Doctor Who. Not they. The public hated Doctor Who. Yeah, this is something that Chibnall really needs to look at because that's where he is right now and how to do it because they dealt with it in a very good professional way Chibnall just doesn't have it. Chibnall just doesn't have it whatsoever. There you go. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you are notified when new videos drop.